ago, right? But it doesn't serve anyone to sit around and live in that emotion. So the question isn't, how can I be more awesome? How can I not be a big piece of crap? Because here's what I know to be true. Only you can be you, and you are already as awesome as you need to be. I say this, can I get a show of hands, just out of curiosity, how many of you have heard my Awesome with Alison podcast?
Woo!
I'm probably going to want my water. I just told Michelle I'm going to want my water. Thanks, Michelle. How many of you know what the hell Michelle is?
Woo!
Can you give them a little twirl, Michelle?
Yes!
The best part is I ordered those shorts and they were a little too small for me, and look how good she looks in them.
Yes!
Right? Michelle, you get on the stage really quick and throw on the shorts. They're so cute. I feel like they were really cute. And look, just give them a spin.
Yes!
Thank you. Okay. Only you can be you, and you're already as awesome as you need to be. I say this at the end of my podcast, which is why I ask. But I often meet people and they're kind of like, but what does that mean? How am I already as awesome as I need to be? It means you don't have to do anything other than access the awesomeness that is already inside of you. Does that make anybody feel less tired? Yeah. I hope so, okay? So the presentation today is awesome tools for awesomeness. Right? I know. Alison and awesome. I'm nothing if not on brand, all right? I want you guys to envision a toolbox. And I can tell you anything. I can hand you a hammer. I can hand you a screwdriver. But just like it took so long to get dressed last night, the reason it took so long is because I've been traveling for months and I haven't put any of my new or unpacked clothing away. So I just want you to imagine, right? How many of you, this is what it was like when you were packing to come? Yeah. Or getting dressed. How difficult it is to find the clothing or the tools when you don't have a place to put them. So your toolbox, I want you to envision that in your mind, and I'm going to give you tools to help you feel as awesome as you are. Because remember, you don't need to be more awesome. You're already as awesome as you need to be. I just want you to feel it more. Why do I want you to feel it more? Because in order to achieve your dream, you need to feel as awesome as you are. You cannot be exhausted and drained and feel crappy all the time and shame yourself into achieving your goals. You cannot guilt yourself into getting the numbers you want, and you cannot hate yourself into becoming the person you want to be. Spoiler alert, I did it. And it resulted in 6 straight months of anxiety attacks without asking for help. It doesn't work. You can try it. But trust me. So I'm going to give you these tools, and the way I'm going to give them to you is in situations that you can apply them. Because I always say insight is cute, but action is drop dead gorgeous. Do you want to be cute? No. No. My husband will be like, you look cute. And I'm like, no. Sexy and like insane, like body yaddy yaddy, not cute. Insight is cute, but action, my babes, is drop dead gorgeous. Yes. So I'm going to give you these. It's a highly technical term. Situations in which you can use the tools, and they are called sucky situations. Yes. And only this morning did it occur to me the deeper level of genius in the naming of sucky situations. They don't just suck because they suck. They suck because they drain you of the energy that you need. They drain you of your inherent power, or what I call your inherent awesomeness. So, the first universally sucky situation, I'm gonna go back, is things turned out differently than you thought they would. Every time. Let me put this into context for you. When I was in college, I had an internship with Hallmark cards. I wrote funny captions. Is this like shocking anyone, right? I worked for the alternative humor department. And I had a boy, I know, I'm so alternative in my dreams. So I had this boyfriend and we dated for over 5 years and it was very draining, on again, off again. And when I was in Kansas City doing this internship away from my family, Kansas City, guys, this is so good. So I'm in Kansas City, like right above where the anthropology is, like downtown. Is it still there? Okay, I loved living above anthropology. So really good for the internship money. I break up with this boyfriend of over 5 years. And I was demolished. And I would come home from work every day. I don't know anyone's in Kansas City. And I'd go into my room, and it was the only time in my life that I had a roommate, and we just had a hard time getting along. I since have not had that problem, and before I had not had that problem. And so it was this unique situation. I really felt all alone. And she knocked at the door, and I would just go in my room and just cry and cry and cry. And she knocked at the door, and she said, I don't know exactly what you're going through, but I do know what it's like to think that things are going to be one way and have them turn out differently. And I thought that was the most, it stayed with me for, what, I don't know, 5 years now, it's like 15 years. It stayed with me all that time because I want you to think about, I want you to just take a minute, let's all take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. And I want you to think about something that is draining you. A sucky situation of your life. And you guys know how shame grows? It grows when you push it down. It grows when you don't give words to it. And when you have shame and when you aren't able to give meaning and word and thoughts to what is draining you, how can you fix it? So I want you to ask yourself, if your sucky situation or something that you would like to feel more awesome about, if I can get that first tool up there, did something turn out differently than you thought it would? This could be a loved one getting cancer. This could be divorce. This could be a death. This could be you didn't hit that launch goal that you thought you were going to hit. You didn't get elite. You're still hacker and you want to get to the next level. It can be that, and it can be as extreme as you didn't expect to lose a loved one. So what are the tools for this sucky situation? The first tool is you need to use what you have. You need to use what you have. As the great Tony Robbins probably quotes from somebody else, you never have a lack of resources. It is a lack of resourcefulness. Yes. I want you to just take a minute and uncomfortably look around the room. Look at the woman next to you. Make eye contact. Does anyone feel awkward? Give me a turn around, check out how, like literally, you guys are so attractive. Turn around and look at the people behind you.
Yes.
When I talked about the attractiveness level, and sir, right in the front, have you, as I've talked about how attractive everyone is, have you omitted yourself from that group? Or are you like, yeah, I know. He knows? Okay, good. So, tell me your name. Doug. Okay, so Doug knows how attractive he is. Doug, I'm sorry, will you stand up? Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Stand.
Right? Thank you, Doug. I love you.
Birthday, and she sent me this.
Let's all be more like Doug.
Birthdays.
Okay?
That's so funny. That's
when I talk about the attractiveness level of this room, don't take yourself out of the group. That's what I'm saying. You're all as beautiful and amazing and awesome as you need to be. But if things have turned out differently than you thought they would, you need to use your resources, and that is your first tool. How can you use your resources? You use what you have. You use what is around you. The Alison Show started as a blog, and it was an essay blog. And then I started making crafts. And then I started teaching craft tutorials. And then I started baking. And then I was she makes. She Blogs was the first blog. And then I sold wedding invitations on Etsy. And then I sold stationery on Etsy. And then I had a shop on Etsy that sold mobiles and baby patterns. And I've been teaching a branding workshop for almost 2 years now. And in that workshop, I share everything I've done. I've told that story a dozen times now. I did this, and then I did this, and then I started dancing on Instagram, and then, I started dancing on Instagram, and people wanted to dance with me, so I threw 700-person all-female dance parties. And then I had a nervous breakdown, and everyone said, when are you going to do more dance parties? And I said, okay, I'll throw another one. And then I'd throw another one and crash for weeks. And then I'd have an anxiety attack, and then what would I do? Would I go get help? No. I'd get up and throw another friggin' dance party. And they were fun, and they were powerful. So I've told the story a dozen times, and it's only in the 10th or 11th telling of it that I realize the story I've told is I'm an idiot. I did this, and it didn't work, so then I tried this, what an idiot, I had an anxiety attack. And then finally I sat down, and I said, am I an idiot? I am not an idiot. I'm not sane, but I'm not an idiot, and neither are you. I was using what I had, and then I realized what I needed to do, because things weren't turning out the way I thought they would with my business, is the second tool, is I needed to change my story.
Yes.
What's the story you're telling yourself right now? I'm not there yet. I'm not as awesome yet. I haven't figured it out yet. No, you're working on it. You are not an idiot. And do you want to know what took me 10 years to figure out? What it was exactly that I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to put love into the world. I wasn't exactly sure how to do it. So I tried a lot of different ways. And guess what my #1 way is that I now love putting love into the world? Is I love helping people discover what it is they want to do. How effective of a teacher would I be if I had figured that out in 6 months? How effective of a teacher would I be if I had started a really successful company in what seems like a year? That wasn't Kara's mission. That wasn't Kara's calling. My calling, what I am doing, is helping you figure out how to feel as awesome as you are so that you can do what you feel called to do. How effective would I be at that if I felt really good the whole time and figured it out right away? I had to change my story, and that's why it's the second tool. Let's move in to this universal principle. You cannot poison your well. Negative, destructive thoughts yield negative, destructive results. So when I said you cannot hate yourself into achieving your goals, or shame yourself, or tell yourself you just need to do better, think about that. Can you plant a poisonous seed and not grow a poisonous plant? No, it's impossible. Those thoughts will poison your own well. Let's move into the second universal sucky situation. You can't stop beating yourself up. This can be you won't forgive yourself. You won't forgive someone else. You can't let go of that stupid thing you said. You can't let go of that opportunity you missed, or that person you didn't call. I think so often in life, this is the tool we need for overcoming, is you need to avoid the comparison trap.
Yes.